Now, here's Chief Meteorologist Tony Petrarca with your live Pinpoint Doppler 12 Futurecast.
Well, pretty busy here in the Weather Center. Myself, TJ, Pete, and Michelle have been tracking this system now for the last 24 hours. Snow starting right on schedule, and live Pinpoint Doppler 12 radar shows this very well. And what we're tracking, it is all blue, which means this is a cold storm, and it's all snow and not rain, as the precipitation has been advancing from south to north. Now, the darker areas of blue, and you can see some stripes of it off to our south and west, indicating some slightly heavier snow. And when we see the signature on the live Pinpoint Doppler 12 radar, these little narrow strips of darker blue, we call this banding, and these are just small bands of slightly heavier snow. And where they set up determines how much snow falls in your backyard, my backyard. So it makes the accumulation forecast rather difficult. We will see accumulating snow, enough to impact travel, enough to plow and shovel. But as far as the specific amounts in certain areas, that's the tough part. But we'll certainly give you our best educated guess here in just a second. But time lapse down at the Aquatic University of Rhode Island last couple of hours. Yeah, it started to really pick up. No, to play this back one more time. Initially, it's light. And you can see the ground starting to get covered, and then it really starts to come down. And this is what I'm talking about, some of those heavier bands that set up where one town could pick up 5-6 inches of snow, and then the next town over, it's only 2 to 3. So that's the kind of situation that we're involved with right now. Snow just started in downtown Providence about 30 minutes ago. And you can see temperatures in the upper 20s, so cold enough for an all-snow situation. Winds out of south at 8. And the humidity at 65%. So here are the headlines with the accumulating snow tonight. All snow, no rain, heavy at times. Talk about an active weather week, potential for another storm later in the week, snow and perhaps some accumulations. And along with that, some of the coldest air of the season is on the way. So talk about a very dynamic weather week. Temperatures now in most spots are in the upper 20s, and we'll actually drop towards daybreak to the low 20s by tomorrow morning. You can see the shield of snow starting to work in. Kind of a complex weather situation. Well, first of all, we'll show you what we can expect for this evening. That's the snow developing, if it hasn't done so already. The wind starting to pick up, and temperatures holding in the upper 20s to lower 30s. What we have, all the players on the weather map will eventually translate into a storm system offshore later tonight, early tomorrow morning. And attached to it is this little purple line. It's what we call a surface trough. And quite simply, it's just an extension of this storm system offshore that kind of extends back to the west. And this is where some of the steadier snow will be concentrated this evening and throughout the overnight hours. So by tomorrow morning, I still anticipate at least some leftover snow, and we're giving it the red traffic light for early in the morning for obviously travel impacts. You want to allow for some extra travel time. 11 o'clock in the morning. The snow starting to wind down at least across Rhode Island, but it will continue in eastern Massachusetts. Futurecast shows us a little better starting at 8 o'clock this evening, and you can see all the blue indicating some of this steadier snow. This is 11 o'clock at night. Here we are at 3 in the morning, still snowing. Now notice by early tomorrow morning, here's Rhode Island. The snow is starting to lift out, but it continues across eastern Massachusetts through the early afternoon and then finally pulling away. That's why the highest snowfall totals will be right out here from Boston down through Cape Cod, 6 to 8. 3 to 6 in most of our area, 1 to 3 in our northwestern suburbs. And I know your eye goes right to this. Keep in mind what this forecast means is that as little as 3 could fall, but as much as 6 in some of those heavier bands. Bottom line, it's enough to give you kind of a headache tomorrow morning as far as travel, so obviously allow for some extra travel time. By tomorrow afternoon, things are drying out. It turns windy and frigid with a mix of clouds and sunshine. Daytime highs struggle, in fact, never getting above freezing in the lower to middle 20s. 7-day outlook shows the very cold air setting up for this week with the potential for another storm being snow on Friday, and a temperature at 30, then turning sharply colder by the weekend, but dry Saturday and Sunday with readings in the upper 20s. I certainly never forecast school cancellations, but the potential is there, parents, or at least some delays in some communities. So check our website, WPRI.com, or your app. Okay?
I don't like this at all.
No, I know.
Okay. More coverage ahead on Eyewitness News Live at 5.